These guys are not experts.
And I'm not sure they're even that smart.
They do like video games.
And I guess you could say they're funny.
Sometimes.
Well, they do like to talk.
And they do have opinions.
It's time for Video Game Replays!
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Video Game Replay. My name is Larry, IR Monkey. Joining me is Aiden.
What's up, guys? Dove in the building. What's going on today, Larry?
Well, we're running a two-man show today. Our boy CJ's got some life happening, so we let him get away. I think he just get his ass whooped by some Donkey Kong, but we'll see how that goes. Other than that, man, we're living life. We're doing it raw. It's No Shave November. It's getting dark at 5 o'clock. All those things are happening. How about you, though? What have you been doing? What have you been into?
Not too much. Weather's kind of cooling down. Not a whole lot of work going on. Not being outside a whole lot, so pretty much still cooking and cleaning a lot. Playing some video games, a little Valorant happening. Playing our little extra of the week this week a lot. But really not too much happening, to be honest. It's kind of been a slow, bump the disc a little bit, but kind of been a slow week for me.
I think it's just that change. Put some real time into where we're at. We just went through the you gain the hour of sleep or whatever, and that strangely fucked with me a lot more than it should have. Yeah, like I say, it's that time where basically 5 o'clock in the evening it's dark. So those of you who don't get enough sunlight, take your vitamin D pill. It'll help you not be so depressed throughout the winter, I promise. I don't know. I guess a little behind the scenes here. We are recording a couple days later because I had a bout with my GERD, which is a gastrointestinal reflux disease, which basically is I've got heartburn to no end and it cripples me at points, which gets bad enough that it causes actually like body changes, i.e., like rapid heartbeats and just strenuous pain. Where I've done many trips to the ER in my life to find out that I just have really bad heartburn. So I'm aware of the symptoms, aware of the signs, but it sucks. I don't wish that shit upon nobody. But
yeah, we had an early recording date, and it kind of just was all around not the best day. My Wi-Fi wasn't working all that well. We got to it kind of late. He had his GERD flaring up. It was like signs were not pointing in direction, so we just pushed it down a couple days. It was not happening that day.
No, it wasn't. It definitely didn't. And we gave an extra day. And I think a lot of things have worked themselves back out. I'm functioning. I can't say I'm 100%, but I wake up in the morning with heartburn, but throughout the day it works out. So wife's been taking care of me, keeping me where I need to be. And you got your Wi-Fi fixed, so
I did. I didn't even need to call anybody. Thought I was going to need to.
Well, like I said, that's pretty much playing the catch up on it. I'd like to say I've been playing some video games outside of our game of the week, but like I say, this GERD, this freaking hour change shit is I don't know what the hell it did to me, but I'm going to bed like earlier as can be. I'm getting up early, and I ain't doing much more than going to work. So video games kind of went back, but like I said, did get some time playing that, and we're going to cover that again here in just a minute. But we can't have a podcast without having at least a question of the week to see where we're at. And I'd watched a video here, which I'm actually going to pull up the guy's name and the name of the video for those who want to watch it, because I thought it was interesting. It's based off of a book, and the subject of this is the dopamine war, and the Clayton Morris is the channel that I watched it on. But basically, it's an idea of how everything's fighting for our time and our dopamine, basically, to get us going and watching it. Now, as I'm looking at this, I realize the question I had is from a whole different video, but still, I want you to check out that one, Dopamine
Shout
War.
out the channel.
Yeah. But either way, the question of the week tied into a different story thing I'd watch. I'll find that and we'll bring that up later because I think it's pretty interesting too. Yeah, I'm part of that generation. I don't read. I can read. I just don't. It puts me to sleep. But
Me too.
Question for you, Aiden. You're a young fella. You're thriving. You got a lot of years ahead of you. So Where do you think the world that we live in will be in roughly about 300 years?
Man, 300 years. I
Yeah,
think
it's a jump.
that is a jump. I was expecting like 10 years. Where do you think you'll be? But 300 years. Uh, I forget. I watched. Man, I can't think of the name. It's like It's a Amazon like kind of type of anime, and
Okay.
they talk about uploaded intelligence with like consciousness.
Hmm.
Uh, it's pretty interesting. I want to say we'll be there, but you know what? Like 50 years ago, they said we've had flying cars by now. So in 300 years, my expectations is probably a little too high. But we are reaching that point of technological advances where it's kind of becoming exponential. Like you see, I mean, AI videos a couple years ago, Lily, you could tell they look like slop. Now that they're almost indistinguishable, the rate of acceleration for technological advances is rapidly increasing. But like I said, I also think I'll probably overestimate it. I don't think they're going to have uploaded intelligence or anything like that. I do think though in 300 years they're going to find a way to significantly increase the human lifespan. I do think they're going to
Oh yeah.
find a way to increase that. They're kind of have you seen that guy that's like he's spending millions of dollars to kind of reverse his age, as so he says. And it's
Now,
like
is this the one is he trying to like put like Android parts into him, or is he just trying to like reverse the cells and all that
no,
stuff?
he's trying to like reverse his cells, like he's doing absolutely everything possible. And apparently there's
Wow.
actually been like a lot of like promising studies that like that can be effective. So I think like 300
Mhm.
years down the line, we're going to be reaching like our 130s and 140s. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I do think that's going to happen later down the line. Longer living. Mm, I don't know.
I
I'm trying to think
well,
politically,
that's
but I really am not even that tuned in current political stuff. So 300 years down the line, I have no clue.
I think that one could be. I mean, just to give you some reflex into it, we'll think in the Back to the Future concept. You know, in Back to the Future, I think it was in 1985, and he basically went 15 years, 20, 30 years in the past, but he also went 30 years into the future, and the time changes swung so much. So 300 years ago, uh, America didn't exist. We had landed here. We still had Indians, Native Americans, however you prefer, and the world was still wow, the world was still ruled by European kings and queens and stuff. So, I mean, 300 years from now, especially at the
A big
fact that
jump.
in the last 100 years, hell, the last 50, just in my own personal lifetime, we've gone from an industrial age to a electronic digital age, and even more digital in your age to a point like say where yeah, I don't believe truthfully that AI will be totally in control by the end of my life. But I do think by the time you hit the good rightful age in yours, autonomous robots and all that shit will be walking around. And so the concept of 300 years from now is just what the fuck is going to happen
It's hard to
there?
comprehend. I do think like even later down in my lifetime, there's going to be like a really advanced AI in like a lot of modern households, like even like kind of
Mhm.
an Alexa, but even more advanced. That kind of like in like modern houses can like say like they already kind of have this going, but can say like, hey, can you do this for me or turn the light on and do this and run this and call this guy. I do think there's going to be like kind of that like an AI helper in a lot of households in the future. I do think that's something to look out for.
I don't disagree, but I have seen that apparently, I guess I don't know if it's your generation or my generation or the one in between us, but they're starting to go back towards dumb homes and classic technology, i.e., going back to physical media, CDs, records, all that. That's been kind of the hipster thing, but I think it's like becoming more mainstream to start to get back into that. People are unplugging their smart devices. Yeah, apparently it's not too hard to get off your ass and turn on the light now. Um, I like mine. I love to just tell my Alexa to turn on a light and be happy with it. But so it's I don't know. I mean, I think the acceptance of it and just as scary to me is the idea of how much thinking that people are going to let computers do for them. That's the only thing I think I'm worried about for the human race. But
I will. I will say a lot of people might be thinking on 300 years we're going to be colonizing Mars. I don't think that will happen like within the next 500 years, I think we would genuinely, unless there's like a global extinction level threat, I don't think that's even going to begin to happen. I just feel like there's no incentive. There's like, you know how much energy and how much money it takes to like terraform an area to start like construction and
Oh
building and
yeah.
stuff. To terraform like a different planet and have to take building materials by spaceship, and there's just no incentive for how much money it would cost to do that. I feel like that. I feel like that's something that's kind of grossly overestimated how soon that's going to be. For that to even start to happen, there's going to be have to be some sort of like extinction level threat. Either it's overpopulation, either it's overconsumption, we don't have enough food, or we don't have enough fuel. We're kind of downhill. That's when maybe we would start expanding. But even then, like I don't think I think if I had a I don't think before something wipes us out, I don't think we'll ever completely colonize another planet. I don't think that will ever happen.
I know with the way our world works now, or basically what's the money return on this? Yeah, we're going to start capturing comets before we start populating places because it seems more efficient to catch a comet full of gold, nickel, and bring it back to Earth than it is to travel several years to a place to start a new colony for you know
Yeah.
with no trees.
Yeah.
But um, when we went through this here, like I said, I just wanted to bring up the video I was talking about was what happens if AI just keeps getting smarter. You can Google the machine at the end of time, and like I say, it's based off of a book and how he's reviewing it, and it goes from basically where we're at in the AI world now to almost a trillion years in the future. Um, some deep thought, little little crazy stuff, but I mean, like I said, I think everything that kind of makes our brain work is never a bad thing. So
I feel
check
like a
it out.
trillion years in the future. I feel like our sun will be died and reborn like about 100 times by then. I don't even
Well,
know if the
that's
universe is a trillion years old.
in the short of it. That's kind of the premise is the idea that there's a finite amount of fuel set into our sun, and these folks have become so used to AI figuring out everything. They ask AI, "Hey, how do we restart the sun? How do we keep it going?" And it says there's not enough data. And they're like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. You want to go get a cheeseburger? Keep going." And it just cycles through several different layers of that. But uh, where we're at and when he hits the time spots is where it becomes really intriguing, and that's where I hit this first level 300 years. 'Cause I think that's about the first jump. Is where are we going to be at that point and what we're doing? So good stuff, good brain work and stuff. Highly recommend the video. It's 20 minutes of your time if you can find it. Um, I'll make note. We'll try to link it down below so you can watch it if you want to. But I think it's time. With all this AI talk and everything we got going on, let's talk about a friendly AI. Let's get into it, Aiden. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This episode of Video Game Replay is brought to you by Phantom Shield VPN, the only VPN that takes your privacy as seriously as you do. Let's be honest, the internet's basically a dark alley with horny cats and Wi-Fi. Every click, every search, every late night deep dive in Rule 34 Sophia Petrillo, someone's watching. Your internet provider, your applications, maybe your cat. Definitely your cat. I think she's embarrassed too. But not if you're using Phantom Shield VPN. Phantom Shield VPN encrypts your data using military grade technology, which basically means that it will work some of the time. Maybe. With Phantom Shield VPN, you can browse privately, stream anything from anywhere, and pretend to be from a country you've never even heard of, all while knowing your information isn't being sold to the highest bidder. Because let's face it, you're worth more than 12 cents of ad revenue. And right now, listeners of Video Game Replay get 85% off, plus your first 3 months free. That's almost a full season of lying low on the grid while you Google things like John Stamos shirtless. Go to phantomshieldvpn.com/VGRpod and use our code SHOCKER at checkout. That's phantomshieldvpn.com/VGRpod, code SHOCKER, because being invisible online shouldn't require a tinfoil hat. Stay private, stay safe, stay off those websites you shouldn't be on, all with Phantom Shield VPN.
At the time of this recording, Phantom Shield VPN is not a real product, nor is it a website. The offer included in the previous message is real, as 30% of zero is still zero, and since it doesn't cost anything, 3 months of free is a valid offer. This is a parody. It is not a paid promotion of Phantom Shield VPN, which is not a real product or website.
This week we have chose to take an extra jump in since our boy CJ's been out. We're going to play some Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Released December 17th, 1993, just enough time to get that last minute Christmas present in for 13-year-old Larry, and I didn't get it, so don't worry about that. But published by Capcom, developed by Capcom, and it's an action platformer. Quick story on it. Mega Man X is a platform game developed and published by Capcom for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's the first Mega Man game for the 16-bit console and the first in the Mega Man X series. Spin-off of the original Mega Man series, this began on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The game takes place 1 century, 100 years after the original Mega Man series, and is set to a futuristic world populated by both humans and Reploids. Robots capable of thinking, feeling, and growing like their human creatures. Sorry. But because of these complex attributes, many Reploids are prone to destructive renegade activities and therefore are referred to as Mavericks. The plot of the game follows the protagonist X, Mega Man X, the last creation of Dr. Light, and an android member of the military force called the Maverick Hunters. With the help of his partner Zero, the last creation of Dr. Wily, X must stop Sigma, a powerful Maverick leader, from taking over Earth and committing genocide against humanity. Very interesting stuff, but what's your first take on this, Aiden? What do you got?
First take on this game, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first Mega Man. I think it was one of the first games we played. I think it was the first game we officially played on the channel. I think it was of the NES draft. It was round 1, pick number 1. CJ picked Mega Man 3 on the NES, and I enjoyed that. But the thing that kind of stifled my enjoyment a bit was my lack of experience with retro video games. To put it frankly, I was not very good at them, and I didn't know what to expect. So I was kind of just half-assing it, and I'll play hours and hours just to beat a couple of the bosses, a couple of the levels. So I still really enjoyed the game, but my experience wasn't as good as it was for this one. I mean, this one is just revamped, better graphics, better movement, better everything. It played so smooth. A little bit on. I was playing it. I bought the Legendary Collections bundle on the Switch, which was I think about $6, like 60%, $6 or $7, about 60% off. And I think you get the first 3 or 4 Mega Man. So that's what I was playing it on. And there's a couple spots where you had some lag, either too many things on your screen, but kind of minor issue. I didn't experience that a whole lot. But yeah, it played smooth. It ran smooth. I ended up beating it on the easy mode, and I played again I got about halfway through it on the hard mode. The hard mode is a lot harder, a lot harder. I figured that out. But yeah, I had a lot of enjoyment in this game. I'll get further deep into it as we go on, but first impressions, a lot of enjoyment coming out of this game.
I think it's a good step up for Mega Man. It is a good evolution point. Now, back in the 90s, we're like, how the hell do you go from, I think at that point it was Mega Man 3, maybe 4 was out on the NES. And it's like, how do you jump to X? X being the Roman numeral for 10. So everybody's like, how the hell do you get to 10? And it's like, oh, you look at it, it's like, damn, this does feel like this should be 10.
Yeah.
But no, it's just an X's, and I don't know. Everything was X in the 90s, so you'll have that part of it. But it plays really well. It feels very smooth. The dash is put in to kind of replace the slide, which I personally like better.
Same.
It's a good evolution. It's a good change to the series, and I, doing my research, found out that there's so much lore built into this that they went above and beyond just even the video games. I found a guy, I wish I kept his name. He had an hour and a half long docu-series on just the X series itself and how it all ties together and how Sigma's working through it all and how Zero's tied into it. And I'm like, somebody's got some love for this shit. And it's
Is there an
well
anime,
justified.
like an animated series of Mega Man?
Yes, there are 2 of them. I think they're tied to help bring all 4 of the games together. But immediately, I've played this several times, and I'll have to admit, through any form that I was able to. this game kicked my ass really bad. So after talking to you over the last weekend, I too like, hey man, it's worth it. It's worth the $6 to get it and try it out there to play it on my Switch, have it available. So I got the Legacy Collection, and the first thing I found out was there's a Rookie Hunter mode, which thank God for that. That made this game a lot more better. But also I think it's a great training ground for it. But like you said, we'll cover
It
more
is.
into that. Um, so we'll start out with the simple stuff. Graphics wise, very good, very well drawn out, done up much better than 16-bit. A lot of details. Um, was there anything in the graphics that jumped out at you immediately, Aiden?
I mentioned a little bit that there is a touch of performance issues when there's a ton of stuff on the screen, or on that level where you're on the cart going through the mine, and there's like a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of bats and stuff. There's slight technical issues, but a little stuttering, but nothing major, nothing to really hinder my experience too bad at all. But the graphics, man, like the colors, the ambiance, like the atmosphere, it all brought it together. Felt really smooth to play. The mobs look good, really interesting mobs, and not just like a repeat of the same mob. And there's a couple of those obviously, but a
Yeah.
lot of unique mobs. You could tell pretty much what everything was for the most part. A lot of them weren't like I don't know that I couldn't tell the names of them like lore wise, but everything looked
Yeah.
really good. The bosses look good, the levels look good, the background looked good. Everything on this game, it felt and looked really good. It looked modern. Like if this was like a modern platformer, I wouldn't be so surprised if you told me like this was like a 2016, like on the DS or like on the 3DS. To be like, yeah, that makes sense because this game truly does look that good for a 1993 game. I mean, I can't have much gripes about it at all, to be honest.
Well, I think one, when you go back to a classic 2D side scrolling type game, it's easier to keep it into a modern feel and look at it, especially at this level.
Mm,
Um, I mean, like I say, we'll even go into the things of like Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight. Like I said, a lot of those 2D ones, they feel like it fits right in that same group. I mean,
mm.
this is, 20, 30 years older than that is. So it definitely, I agree with you on that. Now, you mentioned the uniform on. I'm going to test you on some of the things that you were able to find, because I found out much later doing my research that I missed so much of this
Oh,
game.
I did too.
Uh, I did not make it to the end. I made it to, I beat all the original bosses, and I
Mm.
started into the next section. That's about as far as I was able to get in my time this week. Um, but how many pieces of that outfit did you actually get? Megaman's outfit.
When I first ran through and I was like, I beat everybody and I was struggling and I was like, wow, what am I doing wrong here? I figured out that I only had the boots, the slide that you get on the ice level that you pretty much can't miss. That's the
Yeah.
only like upgrade I had to my uniform. Later, I did go back through and get all the upgrades. I did. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, on my first go around, I was like, "What is going on here?" But yeah, I had one upgrade. And it was it was the upgrade you couldn't miss, and I think I found no hearts at that point, like maybe like one or two, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's exactly where I ended up going through it and working that out. I was finding out that I only got the slide piece too. I bring that up because you build a whole new armor for Mega Man on this. I found that out looking reading into this. You get different plates, different shoulder pads, and different things that go into this. Which strangely, not strangely, but also the bosses have different pieces on them that when you get different weapons, you can start to abuse
Mm.
that. So there's a cutter guy, he can cut off the arms of the damn octopus. Found that out and went back and did that. I was like, that's badass. Um, I
If you
did
get
it on the armadillo.
yeah,
The
that's what I was gonna bring it up.
Okay, well, shoot at it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that the one like kind of mega purple like laser balls you can rapidly shoot, it knocks the
Mhm.
armor off the armadillo guy, so he doesn't block
That,
everything.
that's the only one I found naturally. I have to
Hmm.
admit to that, but I realized going through just trying to figure out what I could use to hurt this guy. Uh, that happened. But oh shit! Now it's on because he quit. At that point, he quit blocking every damn thing I threw at him. So, but I mean, like I say, graphics wise, I think that adds a whole other layer to this whole damn game. That you can change the way Mega Man looks by the things that you collect, but you can also change the way the bosses and a lot of the mobs look by the damage that you're taking from specific weapons that you use on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of graphical moving parts that makes this feel so impressive. And I kind of want to touch on the movement because we don't really have like a specific section for that. But I think out of this is a bold statement here. I feel like out of all the games that we've played so far on this channel, this to me has the best movement personally. The directional movement in the air is really impressive. The sliding and there's advanced movement mechanics that I'd even find out until way later down the line. Like if you hold when you bounce off the wall, if you hold the slide button while jumping, you'll bounce like horizontally really far. Like,
Oh
and
wow.
if you slide jump, you'll like boost really far. There's a lot of advanced movement mechanics, and just the coming from the NES, the constant directional movement in the air is such a breath of clean air. Because on the NES, when you jumped in the air and you could not no longer like, oh, that's pretty much your fate. You can't change it once you've already jumped. Having that, having being able to move while you're in the air is definitely a breath of fresh air. That's the better expression. But the movement on this game was so impressive to me. I really enjoyed the movement.
I agree. I think you feel you feel a control that's futuristic. I mean, like I say, it's better tight controls than some of the games that you can get now.
Hmm.
So definitely something they went and got refined on, and I think I could appreciate it. I think anyone who would try it could too. But let's go to something we knew we loved in the first one. Mega Man 3, at least the one we played in the first season, was the soundtrack. Um, I think sound wise, shots, explosions, those kind of things, those were all pretty standard, pretty good. But I think the music is the one I really want to touch on. You got any opinions on the music?
I don't know why I'm sensing we're not on the same page here, but I went back and listened to the music. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really like the music. Go back and listen to the music. I felt the music was absolutely rocking. And going back to the Mega Man on the NES, they had rocking music too for its time, but I really found myself enjoying the music here. I was
Well,
sensing a different opinion from you. What do you got?
I was trying to keep it neutral, just not to play it up too much. I did really enjoy the music here too. I still think I'm a little more of a fan, probably with +10 on the nostalgia for the old NES one.
Yeah,
Because I didn't play this too much as a teenager. Didn't get my hands on it too much, but it was really good. I think for some degree it's the difference between thrash metal and modern rock, but it's still rolled into it because the basic of this, when you go back to it, this is Rockman in Japan, and they don't call him Rockman because he's like a stone. It's about rock and roll, which
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I think I think truthfully I do like the music in this. It doesn't tie to me as much, but also 30
I
years
will
versus the week.
I will say that like on a technical level, this music might be like technically better than like the Super Mario 3 music, but I think the Super Mario 3 music was better just because it has so much more emotional ties to it. Like everyone knows the music. I will say there is no nostalgia factor for me. This was just pure listening to audio that I pretty much have never heard before, and if I have, is just through some other media platform that was just on in the background. Uh, yeah, there's no nostalgia factor. I'm just solely judging it based off what I heard because I've never heard this before, and not like I have in a lot of the other games that we've played.
Well, I think that's part of what where this whole thing was brought up for. Is like I'm going to bring some nostalgia to the table, but you guys are new eyes, new ears, new hands to this, and that's what's important. Like I say, we want folks to try some of these things out and play some of these things. But I think you speak volumes to the fact that, again, this is a 30-year-old video game, and you're like, the soundtrack's rocking on this shit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. It really is. But the nostalgia will pull me back. Say, the old Ed Mega Man probably was. Now, somebody who played X more than I have would probably fight me on that. And sounds of it, you're willing to throw a punch or two just to make your point. So I mean, but I think that's appreciated point.
I will say, uh, the Mega Man 3 on the NES also had banging music, like I mentioned. So it's not really a surprise to me that this also had pretty solid music. I really had no emotional ties to either of them, but this was definitely a more cleaner sound personally.
And that's great, man. Like I said, I'm not going to argue that it wasn't better or not. I think it was pretty good, and actually, I think I could probably, I wanted to, I just couldn't find the time this week to actually go back and listen to the straight soundtrack of this game, because I think in our modern world through a lot of different things that we see. It's probably slid in there somewhere. We've heard some of this.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
what I'm
not.
saying.
It's just not as prolific, like you say, as having like Mario and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to go back and listen to the soundtrack because I do realize I play games not the volume not turned all the way up. A lot of times I'm doing something else, or there's background noise, or my parents are playing TV in the background, or I'm listening to a podcast. So I don't fully get to experience like the different music in each level. Or I try to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not playing it on mute, but sometimes I am. I can't lie. But for some games, if the soundtrack is annoying, but a game like this, I didn't play on mute. Uh, but yeah, I definitely go back to kind of just retouch on to see how much I actually like the music.
Well, being a guy who you claimed fame because we seen the picture in the chat. You beat this game. Way to go. Um, so with a guy with that much experience in this, what is your least favorite part of the game?
My least favorite part of the game. I'm trying to think. I truly did really enjoy this game. Like I touched, there were some technical problems when it got a little crowded, so that's kind of a slight knock on it. I guess if I had to choose something towards the end, once you beat the main 8 guys, you pretty much play like an extra 4 levels, and a lot of those in those 4 levels, like you have to beat 2 of the same bosses that you've already beaten again.
Okay.
Like in the level after that, you'll have to see the cutter guy and the rhino guy in one level, and at the very end there'll be like a new boss. So you have to beat like 3 bosses in that same level, but also I feel like they could have done something, maybe added some more unique bosses and not just reused the old bosses. Because I feel like I already beat the guys. Like how are they back to life and now fight me on this level? So that's maybe a critique. They could have been a little more unique on that. But also, I'm an Elden Ring fan. Sorry, I haven't brought it up in a while. I had to bring it up. But they kind of did that too. They had a ton of unique bosses, but they did reuse some bosses in some areas. So I can't be too critical on that. I get why they did it. Yeah, I'm really grasping for straws here. I didn't have any major gripes about this game, to be honest.
The one thing, like I said, I think because of your not not so much experience in the Megaman series, that is pretty much standard is a boss rush
Okay.
towards the end, one way or another. Adding in different, larger, bigger bosses to have to deal with before you get to the main boss. So it does kind of fit the formula to some degree. So I expect that, and I know that's part of what you're going to see coming around. But I do appreciate, like I say, that I'm with you on I guess the statement is, if I blew this guy up earlier, did you have another one sitting around? Did he get
Yeah.
put back together? Why'd that happen? But myself, I hated that damn Eagle stage. Eagle, I don't remember what his name is, but that
Yeah, the
stage
bunch of
ruined me.
parkour. You have people
Oh,
grabbing you and dropping you off the map. The little
and
robots.
the jumps aren't simple. Like even your first platform, you jump onto, it's a moving platform, it does a circle, and you have to jump onto another one, it's doing a different circle. But that first jump isn't even as simple as just jump up onto it. You got to jump, grab to it, and jump back up on it again. So I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's a bottomless pit through 75% of the damn level. So you have to do blind jumps or know where you're going. And I'm just like, I died so many damn times on that level that it's probably stuck in my head. I could probably go upstairs right now and play it and be like, yeah, got it now. But
There's one level towards the end it was like that, but way worse. I think it was either the like part beginning, not the final stage, but before the final stage, there was like 8 different it was like platforms moving back and forth, and you have enemies attacking you, and you have to jump up to a different platform that's moving back and forth. You pretty much have to keep on jumping up to a different platform, and you have to jump on the side of that platform and then hop up while enemies are attacking you above this
oh
bottomless
god,
pit. It was a pain in the ass. And pretty much one of the only like things that I really found that was good for that level was the homing rocket
yeah,
attachment thing. That was like the only, because there's really not a whole lot of other abilities that shoot upwards, and you have people attacking you from up, and like unless I jump and like stay with the moving platform and shoot them and then land back on the platform that is already moving. Like I would just have to use the homing missiles. And I definitely died about 8 times. And it's one of those where to even get to that spot, you have to go through like a level. So the time you get to that spot, you're already like you already have gone through part of a level. And if you die, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and then beat that beginning part again. God, that was probably my most frustrating part.
Well, that's that Mega Man X has always been a testament to your stamina and your ability to go through the game, because it's going to kick your ass, it's going to make you feel okay, it's going to throw something hard as hell at you, and then it's going to make you go through it all over again just because you slipped and fell off a damn platform. But I'll start on the simplest side of this. I guess the favorite part of this immediately is this didn't have the classical appearing and disappearing blocks. And if it did, I didn't have to see them. So
Yes.
at least that worked out.
I did like that part.
I'm glad I didn't see that. That was very notorious in the original NES Mega Man. I think from maybe the first game, just a box appears. You got to figure out what the next one is. Jump to it before it gets there, because you're going to fall if this one doesn't. But I think one of the other things I think I really, really enjoyed about was how one thing in the game affected the other. And I'm going to start with the simplest one, because I didn't know it until, again, I watched it. I'd seen it. I actually even experienced it. And I thought maybe where I put it on the easier level, it's what caused it to happen. But if you beat a level or you do something, it changes another level.
Mm-hmm.
I played the Mammoth level, just trying different things, trying to get something going to do it, because I was having a hard time playing on regular. So I've always, for some reason, known just you want to start with the Penguin level as your first level, but I just wanted to try something different. Let's go a different path. Let's see what we get. So when you play the Mammoth level, there's lava throughout the whole bottom of this thing going on constantly. It jumps up, destroys the stage, does all that stuff. Well, I found out if you beat the Penguin level, all the lava is frozen over. And I'm like, that is crazy. And I guess even if you beat the Eagle level earlier, it breaks down and destroys something else because that ship that you're fighting them on crashed. So it's like different things affect other parts of the game, which I'm like, that's a level of depth they didn't need to put in there, but they did. And I really appreciate that. I think that's pretty fucking awesome that they went that direction on it. But as you said, the controls are really tight and all that stuff. I appreciate all those things, but I was really moved and just thought that was pretty awesome. But what's some of your favorite stuff you enjoyed out of this, Aiden?
I had a couple. Well, I want to start off by saying the movement was my favorite part. It's my favorite movement. I'm a big movement guy in games. I don't know if you've ever played Apex Legends. It's a game with a lot of movement. In any game I play, I love a game where there's advanced movement mechanics and you can get better. That you can increasingly in the skill gap with that movement is pretty much infinite. You can get infinitely good at that. Like, so I like a high skill ceiling with movement, and this game has that. Graphically, it was very impressive. The movement was impressive. Like you said, I like the level of depth that this game gave you. Like, for instance, even little stuff. It's like little secrets. Like, if you beat the Mammoth level and you get the flame ability, and you go back up to the Penguin level, there's a parkour spot you can get to where there's an igloo at the top of the map, and you can destroy it only with the fire ability, and that it gives you an extra heart. And I feel like just like interesting parts about the game. It's like little secrets like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna act like I found that on my own. I did not find that on my own. I saw in a video, obviously, but like just little touches like that really add to the depth of games like these. And for how advanced this game felt, I mean, I could honestly go on. I'm a really big fan of the abilities and how a lot of games, like, I don't know, this is kind of a crazy mention of the games we played in the past, but it was that Batman game we played for and like you get an ability and you feel like you kind of have to use it sparingly because you run out pretty quickly. Like in this game, it feels like truly the abilities that you earned, you can just use them. And you can use them, and once you beat somebody, there's a level of progression where, I beat this, I'm gonna get this ability, and it's truly gonna help me out in later levels. And not just like an ability, or actually Ninja Gaiden. Batman's not the best example. Like something like Ninja Gaiden, like you break a lamp and you finally get one of the good abilities, but if you die or like if you die once, like you lose the ability forever, and you just have to find a different ability, something like that. I really like that you permanently have these abilities unlocked now, and the different abilities interact with different mobs. And as Larry knows, but if anybody doesn't in the audience, there's kind of a certain path that you can play where the different abilities are better on certain bosses. We've kind of already mentioned that, but there's like kind of a path you can play that makes it easy. I didn't go by that path. I kind of just went order around the circle of
Okay.
the at when I first played it. But I feel like this game has so much depth to it, and how good it looks and how smooth it plays. Uh, yeah, I have a lot of good things to say about it, to say the least.
Well, I don't disagree with you 100 at all about honestly. It is a very in-depth game, and honestly, I'm kind of glad that you convinced me to buy the Legacy Collection because I can't say I've went in the depth playing Mega Man X. I played a lot of Mega Man on the NES. But I think, knowing that now we have three other ones in front of us, might have something to do this winter. I don't know. May not make it to
Hmm.
Civilization. Who knows? But either way, we're about ready to wrap this up, put it in a nice bow on it. But let's get your final thoughts, what you think, what you know, and how you feel about recommending and all those good things.
Final thoughts, kind of brushing over what I've already touched on. The game looks great. It plays great. Cool, unique bosses. It's not a walk in the park. To me, I found the easy hunter mode or whatever it's called. I found that more enjoyable personally. But if you'd like an even harder challenge, play it on the regular mode. Get two shot by bosses. It's not a great time, but if you're a person that loves kind of hard challenges like that, you'll love that. I recommend this game a lot. I think you should play it. I'll play it again. This is the only game actually ever on the VGR podcast where I've beaten it and then came back and played it again in the same week. So
Okay.
that just is kind of a testament to if I played it again, I've already played it again after I beat it. So that kind of goes to how I think. But yeah, the movement's great. I'm a big movement guy. It looked great. Soundtrack's great. Unique bosses are great. The game has a lot of depth to it and a lot of freedom. It's not a super linear game. You kind of have to explore your own path and see what fits your play style better. Not a ton of gripes about this game. Couple technical errors when a lot of stuff was on the screen, a little stuttering, but other than that, I didn't really have a whole lot to complain about. This game's a good time, man. I would play it. I recommend it, and I'll play it again because I've already played it again once. So there's definitely gonna be a third time. What do you think
Well,
about it, Larry?
I'm with you. I think, like I say, I honestly, when you brought it up, I dreaded the idea because I know this game is tough, and I could say if there's any flaw in this, if you if you pick this up and play this any way you can, um, you better come with it because it's gonna beat your ass. So I think that's why I didn't catch into it in much 1993. I think that this legacy collection with the easy hunter mode, like you said, it's a good thing. Um, but I think this game needed an easy mode, especially when you figure out how much stuff there is. There's plenty of gameplay to come back to. Uh, I myself, like I say, I will probably go back through and try to at least beat this, and then at that point, I will at least make a feeble attempt to see if I got any better at playing it on the regular level. But I think it gives you plenty of playback, replay availability, and so yeah, I am with you 110%. I recommend anybody who has the opportunity to do it. Um, I don't I don't believe that by the time you hear this, this will still be on sale, but keep a look for it. It's Mega Man. They always got a sale going for him somewhere. He's the Capcom Blue Bomber mascot. So I will definitely come back and play this again. Like if I've already spoiled, I'll be playing the other ones whether we do them or not, just to see where it goes too. So
Same here.
it's a good revelation that we had an opportunity to play this again because honestly, this didn't set high in my games I want to play or even talk about. But at least when I had the opportunity to make it a little bit easier, I really enjoyed it. So definitely give it a shot. See if it's in your neighborhood. Normally we don't do a number thing when Aiden or CJ's not around, but we're gonna do one today just because he pisses and moans when we don't. So just in case you don't know, buddy, this will mess up the average, but we'll see how this goes. So Aiden, on our scale 1 to 10, 1 being a shit game, 10 being the best game ever, where do you want to put some Mega Man X?
I feel like this is going to be a shocker to a lot of people, but this did personally scratch some itch in my brain when I played this. I really enjoyed this game. This is going to get a surprisingly high age score. I'm giving this a 9.3 out of 10. I enjoyed this game way more than I thought I would. It scratched an itch in my retro 2D loving mind. I feel like with like Larry mentioned earlier, how 2D games can kind of look more modern than they actually see. I see a couple of Mega Man, like 3D Mega Mans that are like 8 years past this one that look look rough, look way
Yeah,
worse than
yeah.
this. So maybe the fact that it's 2D and it felt like a modern game kind of scratched that itch. But 9.3, that's a really high score, especially for a one-off extra.
Yeah. Well, that is a really high score. I mean, like I said, I know you're talking up. I was a little like, oh damn, he's gonna top this thing out. But I feel you, man. It's truthfully surprising. Like I said, we none of us picked it. I don't think we even looked at it when we came through the draft side. I know it. Like I said, it didn't cross my board at all. I could care less if we did or not. But I am happy that we decided we're gonna play this one, and I'm gonna go with an 8.5 on this one, and it's simply because I want the warning to be out there for those who don't have the opportunity to play through one that gives you a easier mode.
Mm.
It will beat you down. It's going to be hard to get through it, but it rewards you so well for beating this, for getting better at it. And again, it's mentality of a lot of these older video games. These are the games that you had. 1993, this came out. Super Nintendo is still fairly new. It's probably just a little over a year old. If you're a Mega Man person, you wanted to play the new Mega Man, and they gave you a game that you were going to be able to play for years. So, I mean, it's going to be tough, but it's worth the effort to learn and get better at it. So I'm going to go with an 8.5 in that, and I think that's
Give us
pretty
an
good too.
8.9. Little Aiden and Larry VGR duo score here. We don't got the trio here. CJ got a little life to worry about right now, but hey, we don't usually give numbers to extra, but an 8.9 out of 10 for an extra. I mean, that pretty much just screams go play it however you can. I would
Yeah.
recommend this game for show.
I mean, I think even this season here, it's already hit one of the top scores on it, and
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know if CJ had a chance to stop playing himself, but I know after seeing and hearing this, he'll find some time. I know he will. He'll be like,
Well, I
damn.
will say if CJ was here, it would have definitely brought his average down. Because like I almost promise you, this game would be too hard for him. And you'd give it like a 6. I can almost,
Could be.
that's a VGR promise. That's a guarantee right there.
Like I say, we'll see if we can get him to hold up to that. But all right, well, that pretty much does it this week for this extra. Aiden, you want to tell the folks what they need to do?
VGR fam, like, subscribe, share, tell your neighbor about it, tell your uncle, tell your cousin, do whatever you need to do. We're on all social medias. Check us out on the Instagram, the TikToks, all that happy jazz. If you're listening to us on Spotify, check us out on YouTube to see the video version and our happy faces, and vice versa for our YouTube audience. See the full not unedited, but the full podcast. A lot of times in the beginning, we do conversations or do special extra questions that don't quite make the YouTube cut. But listen to it on the Spotify version. Get some more VGR, Larry Aiden, and CJ lore in your mix. Like, share, subscribe. And since we've been doing questions on the Spotify version, send us a question at vgrpod@gmail.com. We'll answer it for you no matter what. If you ask a question, we'll answer it. It can be stupid as you want. We'll be there.
Hey man,
Larry, have we decided? Yeah,
we'll decide the world's problems for you, man. Just bring it out
Yeah.
there. And let us know.
So like, should I get send it? Ask a question. Should I get Taco Bell? Should I get McDonald's tomorrow? What should I order? Like, ask us. We'll tell you. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Whatever you
I'm gonna
want.
say Taco Bell because I think McDonald's may have triggered some of my GERD this week. I'm not sure yet.
Shoot for Taco Bell. Cheesy quesadilla. Cheesy quesadilla
won,
burrito or beef wrap.
it won the franchise wars for a reason. That's a deep cut reference to the Demolition Man for you.
It did. The man himself isn't in this episode, Larry. But what do we got coming next week? Have we kind of made a decision here?
We have not. Honestly, like I say, our hopes and goals is CJ will be able to get back with us and we'll be able to talk about some Donkey Kong. But we don't know. So, come back, check us out. We might have something different to play. We may have another extra in there. We may do randomize it. We may just come in here and just talk some weird shit for an hour, and hopefully you'll send us an email and we'll talk about your weird shit.
We might have a dance battle. Who knows? Just come check us out. I mean, we could pretty much do anything here.
It's a pretty good possibility. I mean, I haven't broke out the DDR in a while, but these knees aren't totally shot yet. So.
Pretty much.
That does it for a great episode here. I appreciate y'all showing again, TJ. We're missing you, buddy. Hope you're here soon. And other than that, come back next time. Maybe it'll be 3 of us, maybe it'll be 2, but either way, we're gonna have some fun. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Deuces.